to help us understand the issues thrown up by the Chief of Defense Staff and the issues of compensation and investigation of the Kaduna incident. I have security consultant and public affairs analyst Jonathan Onoja with me in the studios. Jonathan, good to see you, and thanks for your time. Not too good a moment for many Nigerians. They say this is one too many of such. But again, let us have an idea of. We had the chief, the army chief there say, well, in a case where you have a larger percentage of people scoring beautiful points, one of such errors shouldn't lead to a call for such punitive measures. But Nigerians are saying, how important is the life of one Nigerian for you to think that such percentage argument should be brought into this very sad incident?
Well, I think we were here sometime last week to talk about this issue, and I was one of the first Nigerians to condemn this attack. I think one of the issue we keep hearing or we keep having with the military is the way to pass out this message. The force is still there. Otherwise, professionally, I don't think that should be coming from the Chief of Army Staff at this point, because you don't really compare lives as to when you lose 10, you're able to you kill 10 and then you're able to save 20. I don't think that should be what should be coming on board at this point. But I think it's also speaking from an angle of he's also human. On the issues, I think the northern governors have done justice. The movement, their outings is commendable. And also one of the things I have come to realize is that the fight against insecurity have not really been easy. And so mistakes like this happen, but we are not seeing it too. It's becoming too incessant, and that is one of the reasons why Nigerians are complaining. But I think after a whole, review of the issues and the investigation they talked about, I felt that the Nigerian military still needs support of Nigerians, because one of the problems we are going to bring back to country is that once the Nigerian military lost the support of the people, we'll begin to have a lot of infiltrations, and that will not be too good for our country. So I want to commend specifically the senators, national assemblies, and the governors, the Northern Governors Forums, and other individuals that have also visited the scene of crimes and see how these issues happened. I'm also particularly pained that up to this very date, we are talking about investigation back and front. I think that's already overdue, and Nigerians are no longer seeing it as whether investigation is going to come up. Like we are here in the studio last week, who's going to talk about investigation and who's going to investigate the military? He talks about, the Chief of Army Staff talks about, he believes they're not going to be serving general, serving military officers are going to be constituted in part of the panels of the investigation team. But again, these are their primary constituency. I don't really see how they are going to go against the rules.
Jonathan, sorry to butt in here, because I've just said it's one too many, and that's what many Nigerians are saying at the moment. The last big one was the bombing at Ran some years ago, and the question is, do you think the military needs some kind of help in terms of equipment that will give some kind of accurate information as to what your targets are?
Well, I don't think it is about the equipment. I believe so much that it is about the personnel, and there is need for good intelligence and proper training, including planning, to distinguish between armed Nigerians, civilians, and combatants in the battle space, like I said sometime last week. And so it is not just about the equipment. Already you're having drums, unmanned drums, walking around places and then surveying these places for you. So what equipment are you talking about? To physically go there and kill the people? So you're not talking about the equipment anymore. But one thing I think Nigerians should be considerate in this incident now is that this happened late night, about 10 p.m. And one other side of this story is that, yes, these guys were celebrating their Muslims or Islamic celebrations. But another thing here is that by 10 p.m., they were running across the runway of an airport. So you can imagine some kind of intelligence coming, like we saw people in large numbers in motorcycles and all of that. And so this has actually been on the military, like people in numbers parading into a particular place with motorcycles and all of that. So, and dressed in black and black, kind of dressing, on one or two persons on each motorcycle, it triggers that kind of, that's already that intelligence, like, look, something is going wrong here. And when you see these guys at night at that point, you may not be able to distinguish who is who and who is not. So I think it is an error that we cannot really blame so much on the military. I was one of the persons that condemned this attack, but however, we need to.
But you agree that's a failure.
But I agree it's a failure. But I think we should rather begin to see other means to support the military. And one other thing I expect Mr. President to do going forward in the fight against insecurity in the country, that all we're having today is an internal security problems. Military should return back to the territory. And then have these guys have the police to talk about.
I don't mean to cut you. We're almost out of time. But quickly, as we talk about support for the military, we must also talk about support for the families of those killed and for those that are also in the hospital. Well, it's always a good thing to have a conversation with you like this. Jonathan Oloja, I'd like to thank you for your time as always.
Thank you.